I'm gonna use this costume.
Ears. And after I finish filming this, I'm probably gonna go to the leather bar down the street and have myself a good old time. And I'm so glad that that's my life, you know? I'm so glad that that is my life. Anyway, 90 Day Fiancé is a fascinating show to me because it's just a bunch of people who are just bum rushing it to the wedding chapel, and they don't know each other very well. And I really don't understand making a commitment like that to somebody that you don't know very well. I could not get married to somebody who kept a secret from me for 2 years. I could not get married to somebody who wasn't sexually attracted to me. I don't know why. These would even be things you wouldn't sort out before you got married. To each their own. Anyway, from what we can tell on social media, Justin and Nikki are still together. They're still sorting it all out. Even after...
You've likely heard this song. Traction. That was until Tyler's South African choreographer, Lishe Yaneki, created a dance routine that went viral and launched the Water Challenge. The routine is inspired by a style of dance called Bacardi, which originates in South Africa and comes from the popular music genre I'm a Piano, leading to Tyler becoming the first South African in over 55 years.
I don't care about Justin and Nikki. Dang, that's so random. You know about that show? That's so random. Just tired about hearing about those flops in the background. You don't know that. They could be the cure to cancer. But they could be the cure to cancer. You wouldn't know. I swear, they be locking up. They don't know what to do. Oh. Oh God, King, please, please. King, can we talk about this? Like, I'm crouching, I'm not doing what you think I'm doing. Shit. Oh! Wait! God, I'm so fucking nervous. Yes! 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 Eat this pussy boy!
What did I just do?
No, she'll be like, I'm getting nervous. Or you know what, maybe she would say that in like some SFM or something. It's like some abridged voice acting. I'm so fucking nervous. So I wouldn't be all that surprised if she did say it.
Justin's whole Nazi video situation. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. I would love to know what you guys have to say about this couple. Did you identify with anything in their story? I know I certainly did, and I would love to commiserate with you about it in the comment section below, so please leave me a comment. Anyway, on that note, I will talk to you guys next time. I want you to always remember and to never forget that you are beautiful and you are loved. Bye.
Mariah Carey presents Merry Christmas, one and all. Imagine.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Maybe it's the submissive in me, but I used to really enjoy watching UFC fights. Like, I'm totally against violence or whatever, but like...
Oh! Onyx, look who's here. Oh! Oh. Please stop messaging me because I don't like y'all. What? He's your boyfriend. He's literally your boyfriend. You were telling me the other day how like you wanted to make out with him and marry him more than your exes. Wait, so this isn't the person that you said you loved? I could have sworn you were messaging me about how you wanted to give him a fish sandwich, a gelato fish sandwich, whatever that term is. I can't say it on YouTube, but like something you wanted to do, and you wanted to like, squeeze his pipes or something. If that's what I recall happening. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. Why? It was what you said. I could have sworn that was what you said. Like, forgive me if that's not what you had said, but I could have sworn you wanted to, give him a hand at his homework or something. I mean, unless this is your way of saying you're straight or something. Which nothing wrong with that. You know, we're accepting of everyone over here. We don't discriminate, even if people are straight. Why does it block everything? Ah, God, I cannot break. No! Oh god, I'm so mad. He could have rolled 34. But you said you wanted to to give his pipes a little, like, you know, plumbing done or whatever. That's what you had said. I think that's what you had said.
You know, they say the part of your brain that perceives pleasure is incredibly close to the part of your brain that perceives pain. And I guess that might have been what our protagonist had in mind when they decided to start a fight club at their high school.
You said you wanted to leave him a necklace.
To get laid.
Face, fuchsia. Oh, that emoji.
Round one.
What? This must be triangle because I should be able to break that.
Round two. Fight.
Oh god, get off my leg.
Round three. Fight.
He times everything so fucking well. Makes it kinda hard to get in. Damn it, like, I just want to just get in, that's all I want to do. I'm not asking to do anything super spectacular, but all I want to do is get in. Yeah, if you're a strong player, that means... Fuck. Ugh, it's like so hard to get in. Fuck! It's... Kiss... All I want to do is just get in. I'm not asking for anything else. I just want to just get in. That's all I want to do. And
They
it's very
decided to
difficult
start
to
a
do.
fight club at their high school in order to get laid. PJ and Josie are two lesbian best friends entering their senior year of high school, and together they make a pact to lose their virginity before they hit graduation. When their car accidentally brushes up against the popular football player Jeff, he feigns this really dramatic injury, and a rumor spreads that they actually beat him up. So naturally, the entire school wonders.
Round one. Fight.
Because Dragunov players love that low. Twist.
Round two. Fight.
cannot, because he doesn't whiff ever. Maybe if you whiffed a little bit, we wouldn't have this problem, but you don't whiff. Right there he almost did. If I was a couple frames off, or if he was a couple frames off, I would have hit it, but no. I mean, there's certain people that just don't play ranked. I kind of wonder why, because I'm like, well, wouldn't you be, like, you should be able to just do so well. I noticed when you're KO'd, it automatically counter hits. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe because the game feels like it's cooler that way. Oh. Or maybe I'll hit this, I don't know. But no, I wouldn't hit it because... No! How do you still... Have I ever used that shit on you? Have I ever done it? No, I've never done it to you, so don't do it to me.
How exactly they met?
Weird.
Next two people have to leave.
Lucky I ain't charged.
When they get called into the principal's office, the two...
He is so lucky I did not charge him. But I thought he was going to match again. That's the only reason I didn't do it.
Girls come up with the brilliant idea to say that it was all just a standing. That actually what they were doing was practicing for their feminist, pro-woman self-defense class. They totally...
New challenger.
And they realized a fight club is the perfect activity for them to get a little bit closer to some of the girls that they're at first, but it grows in public. Off the bike are all coming to the club. There's a black girl. Essentially, does
New challenger.
Josie and Pete, they actually have a actually is dating Jeff, and all of this was just
For the next battle.
get closer to them. The club becomes so successful that it gets the attention of the players who dig by the club. But at the very end of the film, together to fight against the rival football team, who they find out actually plans to leave a football game with blood on the field, I'll just say. And that is essentially a quick summary of Bottoms. That is essentially Bottoms. Bottoms is a delightfully campy and that is written and directed by Emma Seligman and co-written by Rachel Sennett, who also happens to play PJ in the film. To be honest, I went into this film with really no idea what it was going to be about. I just knew it was going to be gay, and that was enough for me.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a film about being a bottom. I thought this was going to be be a film of, you know, going through like bottom struggles, right? Looking at the poster, I thought that this was just gonna be like, you know, basically Sisterhood of the Traveling.
Oh god.
I was about to feel like really, like related.
What is with people blocking this Matterhorn? Like, stop doing that. Blocking every 2 seconds. You know, they saw that that trailer and be like, let me be a Dragonov main. I still haven't looked at the trailer because not that enthused about the character. The character's not all that interesting to me. Oh, I gotta see it then. Oh, Victor got fucked up? Oh god. Definitely want to play Victor when the game comes out too. Oh, don't lag switch now! Don't lag switch now! Don't you lag switch now! He wasn't lag switching when he was winning, so don't do it now.
Love you, then they switch. Yeah, they switch like a bag. They love you.
As a bottom, as a total bottom, you know. But no, it was about a lesbian high school fight club, which is just as good, I think, if not better. Something that I really appreciated about this film is that these
I just want the Alyssa trailer too.
characters
really what I
speak to
want.
each other like most of the queer women that I personally know. Now, I am not sapphic in any way. I am quite tragically very heterosexual, but most of my girlfriends are lesbians or bi women. So I have a lot of friends who are sapphic, and it's always been kind of interesting to see the difference between like the women that I know in my life and the way that they're portrayed in media like this. I've noticed in a lot of lesbian films, and I guess you could say queer films in general, is that because they are so often made for a cis-het audience, they tend to be really watered down, right? And you don't get like that sort of gritty nature that some queer people interact with each other, right? Like a lot of the queer women that I know have a certain way of speaking to each other, and it's a way where I think for a cis-het person who's only ever seen gay people like on TV, I think that would be a shock to hear it, because I think when you have that sort of common watered down representation of queer folks, you can really easily get the impression that queer people are very easily offended because they, you know, speak a certain way, right? And I think that if you're a cishet person who has only ever seen queer people on TV, you might be shocked by the way that a lot of queer people speak to each other, because it is often a lot edgier and a lot more offensive than I think people would assume based on what is often a really watered down representation that is intentionally watered down to be inoffensive to cishet people. Even though this film is camp and you're not supposed to take it seriously, I really did appreciate the way that these characters spoke to each other because it did feel more real than a lot of other things that I've seen. There's a lot of dark humor in this film. There's a joke that they make about sexual assault that landed really, really well for a lot of people, and I know that the nature of that makes it controversial, but I guess the sense of humor that I heard in this film is close to the sense of humor that I've experienced from many queer folks, especially queer women. In several interviews, Seligman talks about using humor as sort of the coping mechanism for especially a lot of women living in the society that they do. Sometimes laughing is the only way you can push forward. And I think the thing that stood out to me is that, yeah, this film was a lot edgier than I think a lot of other films we've watched on this channel, especially. Io Debris, who plays the role of Josie in the film, had this to say about the edginess of the comedy in Bottoms. We just really didn't want to punch down with Bottoms. So even if the jokes are towing a certain sensibility line, I don't think they're ever punching down. Humor is a weapon, a powerful one, and it's also a balm, a salve that you can use to heal and even start conversations. Even though the film is incredibly campy, I really do appreciate the way that characters interact with each other because it really does feel really truthful. This film has a lot of unflinching verbalizations of sapphic desire, and I really appreciate that I was able to go to the movie theater and get a ticket to go see a film about two teenage girls who are out as lesbians who are pursuing relationships with girls. That is something that I think for a lot of people seems really simple right now, but back in the day, so many of the narratives that we had about queer people in high school were always about people sort of coming to terms with it or like working through it, keeping it from their parents, hiding it. You know, there was no like being out at school. It was always like this secret thing that you had to hide, and part of the narrative was that these characters had to ultimately overcome that to come out and be proud. And this is a film where instead of experiencing all that, these two girls are out as lesbians and they are pursuing relationships, and even though maybe the environment around them isn't the most accepting, they're still able to do that and they're still able to maintain themselves as out lesbians in high school. And I think that is just so cool and a real sign of just how much we've grown and how we've progressed. Bottoms had a budget of $11.3 million and it made back $10.3 million. So it's not quite the box office success that I think a lot of people would have wanted it to be, but this film did make a lot more than some of the previous movies that we've reviewed, and we'll get into this more later, but I think that that is worth celebrating because this film unfortunately did go through so much trying to get made because of the nature of what the film is about. Overall, this film is being very well received. There's a lot of thirst for the character Hazel, who's also my favorite character from the film. Hazel is a character who is really quirky and she really likes blowing things up. She's like looking for an excuse every single time to blow something up. She was the character that I think I related to the most, honestly, because she was like the
Stop
weirdo
doing
of the group.
fucking
They're all
rockets.
weirdos.
Stop doing fucking rockets. You sound like a parent yelling at me and be like, Johnny, stop doing fucking drugs. I told you about that fucking mess. I told you that shit ain't good for you. I told you that shit ain't good for you, bruh. Like, what is you doing? Oh god. I'm getting nervous, Alex. Like, I'm getting nervous. How that pussy tastes? How that pussy tastes? Oh, you know, Paul players. See, Paul players are cocky. They don't want to just lose and leave. They're like, I got the damage. I can blow them up.
You know, in so many ways, Bottoms was a troop.
Oh yeah, we know if it was Eliza, if it was Josie and Eliza, she'll whip out her pickle or something, or whip out her human vibrator on the person and get to work. And why would she do it to her while she was sleeping? I'd be pressing charges. But see, it's Eliza's. Eliza's asleep. I'd be pressing charges. I'd be like, bitch, you better hope I don't wake the fuck up. I wake the fuck up, you get in charge. I'm getting tested and everything. I'll be like, this girl whipped out her whole pickle on me while I was sleeping. Oh, bitch. Ah. Oh, shit.
Round 2. Fight.
No, I couldn't get up and laugh. I wanted to get up and laugh at you. Oh shit, I was so ready, Onyx. I'm telling you, I was ready to fuck her up. I mean, to fuck him up. Summer Walker. Little Sally Walker. Little Sally Walker. Lawbreaker. Don't you love my bad behavior? Bye bye bye. Batching that shit again? Get out of here.
Collaboration between Rachel Sennett, Emma Seligman, and Io Debris. All three of them actually met while studying at the Tisch School of Arts at NYU. Debris and Sennett were not a huge fan of the pretentious, artsy crowd at NYU, and so they wanted to find a community of women who were exploring gender performance and the very unique horrors of womanhood. And they were able to find that in the New York City alt comedy scene. Seligman felt similarly outcast, as her program was full of a lot of very high art people, and she wanted to do more commercial work. Sennett actually met Seligman when she auditioned for Shiva Baby, which was one of her thesis projects in school. Shiva Baby is a queer Jewish coming-of-age film, and Rachel Sennett actually ended up starring in the feature film version of the film. And apparently, right after they finished Shiva Baby, Rachel Sennett approached Seligman and said, "Hey, want to write something together?" And that's when Sennett pitched her over the idea of writing a sex comedy for queer teenage girls. And Seligman absolutely loved the idea. So they started meeting every Wednesday to write what would ultimately become Bottoms. While writing, they put a huge focus on not shying away from the subject of sex. Seligman told South by Southwest that her motivation was to create a queer female teen sex story where the characters were not undergoing trauma, but also weren't these perfect, sweet, innocent beings. Sennett added, female comedy, sometimes it's like the girl discovers a vibrator in the couch, and they're like, oh my god, what is it? We're scared. I'm like, it's not that scary. It's you all have 6 in the drawer. It's just not that scary. And I just wanted to go there and be real with that. Allison Small at Brownstone Productions read the script and really, really loved it. She loved how ballsy it was, and she would ultimately agree to produce it and start pitching it to several studios. The script went through dozens of drafts and apparently 20 studio rejections. One of the main reasons why the film went through so many rejections is that a lot of studios didn't believe that girls talked like this, and they were really sort of, again, turned off by the subject matter. But ultimately, it would be picked up by Orion Pictures, and they would begin production in 2022. The film was made in a little over 27 days, and they had a really, really hard time finding places to actually shoot it. They had planned to do most of the filming in New Orleans, actually, which really surprised me. But the New Orleans Archdiocese actually contact a lot of the places they planned to film, and ultimately blacklisted from the locations. In addition, they to get any product placement from the studio. It's a really big deal at a big film funded. And a lot of the people that rejected them were indeed companies that, of course, every Pride year with rainbow flags.
That's so funny. That is so funny. That is so funny. Pride Month comes around. Oh! Bam the rainbows, then when it stops, everything fades to black and white, right? No, Alex, I beat him, but I left.
Why the film went through so many rejections is that a lot of studios didn't believe that girls talked like this, and they were really sort of, again, turned off by the subject matter. But ultimately, it would be picked up by Orion Pictures, and they would begin production in 2022. The film was made in a little over 27 days, and they had a really, really hard time finding places to actually shoot it. They had planned to do most of the filming in New Orleans, actually, which really, really surprised me. But the New Orleans Archdiocese decided to actually contact a lot of the places they planned to film and ultimately blacklisted from many of the locations. In addition, they weren't able to get any product placement for the film, which is a really big deal when you're trying to get a big film like this funded. And a lot of the people that rejected them were indeed companies.
So I'm not allowed to bake to decorate cookies anymore because you do stuff like that. Oh my god. No! Ah, this person. I knew he would do this crap. That's what they do.
Round 4. Fight.
Damn it. Oh, whoa! I tried to block and making me nervous. Oh, you already know, Onyx. A Heihachi player could never just say, "No, you know what? I give up." They're gonna run. They're gonna come back
Of
and be
course,
like,
every
"Oh, you
Pride
wanna
here
embarrass me? I'll embarrass you."
paint their social media with rainbow flags, which of course was really frustrating for everybody. Despite auditioning other people for the role of Josie, Ayo Adebri was always Seligman and Sennett's first choice. Because Adebri was around for essentially the entire creation of the script, she felt really close to it and was able to have a really objective perspective and gave a lot of input. And I have to say that I was really, really happy to see her in this movie. Even though this is kind of an ensemble film, she is basically like the main character. She's the character that you spend most of the time with. And I thought it was really cool to see a black lesbian woman be the relative center of a large movie like this. Alana Mayo is a black queer film executive, and she greenlit this film and really, really believed in it, especially because of Ayo Adebri's casting. And according to Seligman, she was an incredible powerhouse for getting this film made, and she was particularly understanding of the film's horniness. Now, Seligman is an out lesbian, and Rachel Sennett and Ayo Adebri haven't exactly clarified what their sexualities are. In fact, during press tours for Bottoms, Adebri and Sennett would regularly express annoyance at the fact that people kept asking about their sexuality. In an interview with New York Magazine, Adebri would speak about her frustration about these questions and would specifically mention the Kit Connor situation. Now, Kit Connor, for those of you guys who don't know, starred in a very popular gay romance series called Heartstopper, and a lot of people wanted to know his sexuality, and so he eventually sort of felt pressured to come out. And he came to Twitter one day and said something along the lines of, "Congratulations, you have forced an 18-year-old to come out as bisexual." And a lot of people were really upset about the way that that went, because Kit Connor felt like because of these questions, he was forced to be out. And Adebri just absolutely resents the idea of coming out on terms that are not her own. Adebri also has a Pentecostal background, and she speaks about how her family would probably not be too happy about her being in this film. She also speaks about how her father at some point asked her if being in a film where she plays a lesbian would make it harder for her to get roles in the future. And you know, reading this, I definitely understood kind of the complexity of this. I think that the conversation about queer people playing queer roles is really, really complex, and I think that there's a lot of layers to it, and it's going to come up in every one of these videos because I think that everyone has an interesting take on this, and I think that we're still working to that point. But I think that the frustration that some people have is we sort of see in a lot of the ways that Hollywood functions that there is something said about staying in the closet, right? There is something to be said about how complicated life becomes when you come out as a queer person. Suddenly now that's something that people have to think about when they're hiring you. And, you know, as a YouTuber, I sort of have some experience with this. I have definitely noticed that because I have always been an out transgender YouTuber, there are certain people who, because I'm trans, even if the content is good, are not interested in engaging with it. And I sort of see it in some of my comments sometimes, because I don't talk about being trans in every one of my videos. And sometimes there are people who will really genuinely and up until the point where they come that I'm trans. And I will see them, like I see the progression of comments, right, where they really, really appreciate it, you know, about being trans, and suddenly it all changes for them. I think that there is something to be said about the fact that when you are a person that and assume is hetero, which of course I've done that for periods of my life when I was self, you do end up sort of navigating around homophobia, transphobia. And I think that what a lot of people want to see, and maybe it's unfair to place this on the shoulders of these actors, how queer people get roles at bare minimum themselves, right? And I think that that is the frustrated by. And even when we talk about how this film made and the complications that it went through to get made, it's very obvious that even though we might have progressed so much, there is still so much behind being unapologetically queer, right? And so I think that for some people, this is one of those conversations that has layers, right? I don't think that anyone should be forced to come out or have to come out simply because of the role they're playing. I think that people should be able to come out on their own terms. And if you've listened to me talk about coming out, by the way, I'm filming this on coming out day, happy coming out day, you know that for me, coming out is something that I think you have to do when you're safe. And I think that maybe that definition can apply to an actor not coming out because they want to be able to work, right? I think, however, that it is interesting in a situation like this where we've got this film about...
Because you know if you fuck it up, you're dead. No! I didn't mean to do it.
Girls who are lesbians who are unapologetically queer, and you kind of get sort of wishy-washy
I know it looks like
answers.
it's probably something that I shouldn't be doing, but I guarantee you, it's never what it seems. But I don't even know why though. I'm like, I ain't even do nothing. Oh! Trust me. It might seem... It might seem gross, but I guarantee you it's never what it looks. No! No, I should have just went for it. Like, why didn't I do it? Why didn't I do it? What? No, please. No, please. Shouldn't have spammed those lows. Shouldn't have spammed those lows. Shouldn't have spammed the
From
lows.
some of these actors about their own sexualities, right? Like,
No, because like the Jack player is gonna use the lows, and then get stuck in it. Like he has so many frames. It's like stop using that shit. Stop using the same old moves. And there wouldn't be any problems.
from some of these actors about their own sexualities, right? Like, Rachel Sennett's response to this conversation is that anyone who went to school with her would know what her sexuality is, right? Like, insinuating that while she might not be talking about it or identifying with it, that she probably has had experiences that people may consider to be queer, right? And I guess even though I understand that, and I do think that their lives are private and nobody is owed that information, I guess it is kind of an interesting dichotomy when we think about this type of film and that sort of reaction, right? But I think this conversation gets really cyclical. There's a conversation about queer baiting that ends up becoming cyclical. At the end of the day, I don't think anybody should be forced to come out, and I think that everyone should be coming out when they are safe and on their own terms. Ultimately, this film was fun, it was silly, it was stupid, and it was about gay shit, and it went into the theaters and it made $10 million. I think that's amazing. I think that's worth celebrating, and I think that that is worth acknowledging. And that's kind of why I wanted to do this video, right? Like, a lot of things that we've seen previously are things that were not available in wide release, right? Like, Monica only had a limited release. Red, White, and Royal Blue was an Amazon Prime thing. This is a film that was in theaters, and I think for that reason it's worth celebrating. It's worth applauding the fact that if you are a teenage lesbian right now, you can go to a movie theater and watch a film that fills the same sort of void that many other sex comedy movies filled for cishet people, right? And this is a film that is deliberately referential to those movies. This film is basically Superbad meets But I'm a Cheerleader. And so it is a really, really fun time. It's really, really silly. And I think we need more films like that. I want more silly gay films. I want more silly films about women. I want more silly films about girls. I want just more silliness. More, please. Anyway, I'm really curious what you have.
No! I'm sick of the overheads. Oh. God. Thank God that's -9 on block in Tekken 8. Because this game it's -12. Oh fuck! Spam punches. No, bitch! And you're gonna do it again.
Say about this film. Did you watch Bottoms? What did you think about it? I'm really, 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 really hear what specifically these sapphic women in my audience felt about the movie. Did you like it? Did you have feelings about it? You know, there was a part of me that wanted to kind of talk about, like, how I guess it's really not okay that the premise is, like, they started a fight club in order to, like, touch girls or whatever. But, like, it's camp. I don't feel like taking it seriously. I feel like taking it seriously misses the point, and I just want more fun gay movies. So hopefully this isn't the last we talk about on this channel. On that note, I want you...
Wasn't paying attention.
They switch like baggage. They love you, then they switch. They switch like baggage. They love you, then they switch. They switch like baggage. They love you, then they switch.
Why on earth does it even...
Round 2. Fight.
No. No!
Round 3. Fight.
No, bitch! You're a fat...
Get ready for the next battle.
Yeah, because whenever everything gets blocked, then they want to resort to snake edges. I really want to low parry, but low parrying is so awkward because you gotta sit there and like push the button forward.
Round 1. Fight.
Like I want to do it, and then they just do that stuff. Come on, like stop doing this. Stop it. It's not cute. It's not funny. It's nothing.
KO. Round 2. Fight.
Ah! Oh, I'm losing my mind. I'm gonna try to be really calm because I don't want to start yelling and cussing and saying some stuff that like will really like be mad homophobic. So like I'm gonna be very calm. Ah, God, like, I don't want to do all this. I don't want to go through it, man. Have a taste of my pussy. Get charged.
Hey man, what's with the teabagging?
I don't know, I'm not feeling well. It was a mistake, and my bad. I was trying to do I was trying to do something interesting, but hold on. No, Alex, the way he was like asking me stuff, he was like, "Hey man, what's with the key charging?" I was like, "Oh, my bad, it was a mistake. I was trying to do a I was trying to tell him I was trying to do a Z input, but wasn't really working out." So, but yeah, at the end of that round, I was like, "I'm over it. I'm over it." Well, yeah, he was talking to me on the mic. He was like, "Hey man, why are you key charging?" Technically, no, I mean, he didn't start any of it, but he was being annoying to fight, so that's why I kind of did that. Hey man, why you keep charging? I'm getting bored though. I've been playing this game for an hour. I'm gonna Google something about this school having scholarships. Alright, Alex, we'll see you later. Have a good one.